Can I see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah, I'm recording my.
So my workbench. Is it possible for you to open your MySQL workbench and be doing some other things on the background? I'm listening to the class as well.
What did you say?
Is it possible for you to open MySQL workbench and be doing some other things at the same time? I'm following the class at the same time.
MySQL.
Yes. So this is my workbench.
The one I have is not the same with yours. That's how I want to reinstall. I have Pop SQL.
You have what?
Pop SQL. Let me show you.
I don't know.
Actually, follow. I don't know if you know these free code camp guys. Follow one of the story that I got to me now. Pop
It's
SQL.
like an online form of. I don't know. Okay, you can see my screen now. So if my queries are too minute for you to see, you can just zoom in to your full screen. Since I'm sharing my screen, just press Ctrl plus to zoom in. So let me just go. I think I've highlighted the classes. I've created it as a script. So class one, this is class one. This is not right. So this is class one. So I'll just do another thing. I don't have to test myself again. So all I just do is that okay, this is when you have our schemas, your database. So I have my DB. This one I created this memory balance. This one I created this, I created this, I created this, I created this. But these three, 1, 2, and this particular database, the thing will be my SQL. So this one that is in bold, it shows that this is the database that currently you use. What do I mean by that? So basically, I want to select, if I want to select a table from this database, I don't need to reference the name of the database. But if I want to select a table outside this database that is currently in use, I have to reference that database. That is why we have this first query to be SQL underscore HR dot employees. Now, employees table is under SQL underscore HR. Let me do so under SQL underscore HR, we have table. So that the employees table is under the SQL underscore HR. So that's how I create SQL underscore HR dot employees. So if I run this, what select tab does is that it gives you everything that is inside that table. Are you with me?
Yeah, I will see.
So to run the current line, I just need to press the shortcut Ctrl Enter. Then the result is displayed underneath here. Okay. So also, maybe I want to select the offices table under SQL underscore HR. Do the same thing. I can also highlight and run. So if I should highlight this and run, I'm going to run the query from top down. So if I can just say Ctrl Enter, or I just press this guy as here. Then it's going to run. So it means it's saying that execute the selected portion of the script or everything if there is no selection. So if there is no selection, if I should press this guy, it is going to run everything. So if I should just highlight and run, it's going to run this, then come to this and run this. So it's just going to show this one as final output anyways. First of all, it's going to show this, then it's going to go back to show this. So that's that what. Now in the offices table, I might say, okay, I don't want to select everything. I just want to see the office ID and the address. Then I'll just specify the column I want to select. So select office ID, address from offices that is in SQL underscore HR database. And if I should run this with Ctrl Enter, and I have this guy. So it just gave me the office ID and the address. Now, so the next line of code is the limit clause. So how do I use the limit clause? The limit clause can have one element as I just put just ordinary 5 here, or 3 and 5. So what this 3,5 is saying that, okay, select everything in the SQL underscore HR.offices table. Limit 3,5 is saying that skip the first 3 entries and give me the next 5 rows. So that is what this one is saying. So if I should run this, it means that look at this result here. So it's going to skip 1, 2, 3 and give me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to give me 4 to 8. So let's see. So as you can see it, I see it in the result here. Still with me? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Emmanuel, I will see you. Just talk about limit 3 and 5 now. I'm with you.
Okay, good. So if I should remove this, I just put limit 3. This one is supposed to be the first 3 rows of the data. So if I should run this, I have 1 to 3. So do you understand how the two works now?
Yes.
Okay, go to the next line here. It says select star from employees table where office ID is equal to 1 or salary is greater than 90,000. So you have logic coming in now. So this one is going to select based on office ID equals to 1. So if you should find a row where office ID equals to 1, it's going to return it. Or so if the salary is greater than 90,000, it's going to return it. So it doesn't necessarily need to satisfy the two. If one of the condition is satisfied, then it's going to return it. So that's the where clause. So let's see. So you can see this one is for office ID equals to 1. That will satisfy this condition. Now for this one that are not office ID equals to 1, we notice that their salary is greater than 90,000. So that's how that works. Now you can also perform arithmetic operation on columns. Look at, for example, now look at this query. I said select star, comma, salary star 12. This means times, so it means times. In this case, it means salary times 12. So first of all, select star means yes.
Can you zoom your screen a bit? Like the store is kind of tiny.
So that's why I said if it is tiny at your end, just press Ctrl plus to zoom in.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me when that works.
Oh, it's working already.
Okay, good. So this guy is saying select star, comma, select salary times 12 from SQL HR.employees. So star, select star means select everything. Then create another column which is salary times 12. So now call it, so I want to give that column annual underscore salary. By default, if I should not put this guy, the name of the column is going to be salary times 12. But I don't want the name of the column to be salary times 12, but I want the name of the column to be annual salary. So it's going to generate another column which is salary times 12 and call it annual salary. Let's see how this works. So you can see that I selected every screen and I created another column which is annual salary, which is this column salary times 12 to give this result. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now, sorry, hold on. Just a minute. So, moving on. And this, we use the between operator. So between operator just works like interval. So I'm saying that, okay, select star from SQL underscore HR dot employees. Where salary between 50,000 and 80,000. So this one is select everything in the employees table for where this condition is fulfilled. It means that now between operator now, these two values are inclusive. If I say between 50,000 and 80,000, between 50,000 and 80,000 is also inclusive in the interval the guy is considering. Do you understand? So if I should run this, You see that the salary range you returned is between that range. This is 62 is between the range 63, 52, 54, 77, 67, 70. They are still in the range of 50,000 and 80,000. Okay. Now let's look at the, okay. Select distance. Select distance, just select the. If I say select distance star, select distance star is going to return the distinct rows you have in that table. So distance star is going to return distinct rows. So that's how this one works. So it will return any duplicate. But if I should say select distinct, let's say first name, instead of star, I put first name here. This is going to give me the unique names you have in that column. So if Richard you have twice here, it's not going to return Richard twice. So do you understand that? Now, going to the not operator, it's just negation. So let's start from offices where not office ID between 1 and 5. So this one is going to return everything in the office table for office ID that is not in this range. So it's going to return for 6, 7 to 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's going to skip 1 to 5. You can see for office ID. So the office ID you have here is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's by the way. Then the other by clause. The other by clause is just the other.
Can you explain that last command again?
You can say where not office ID between 1 and 5. What are the numbers between 1 and 5? Since office ID is just integer value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not going to include office ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why you don't have office ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This place.
Okay, thank you.
So that's where the not operators negates your condition. So the other by clause is just to sort. So let's start from SQL HR.employees order by first name. I'm not telling that to do it in ascending order. That's why the ASC is there. But by default, it's in ascending order. The default is in ascending order. So if I should remove this guy, it's going to do it in ascending order. And see, first name A comes first, then C, then D, then E, like that. But if I want it to come in descending order, then I will type DESC. Say that, okay, I want it in descending order. If I should run this, you can see it now starts from Y, then followed by V downwards in that manner. So you can also do for maybe salary too. You can also order by salary. So you go to order maybe from the lowest or from the highest. The in operator now. The in operator is just like you just look into like a kind of list created. So look at this. So let's start from SQL HR.employees where office ID in this. So it's going to pick office ID 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So let's see. It returns office ID 1, 3, 5. Now the reason why 7 and 9 is not returned is because employee ID, your employees table does not have office ID 7 and 9. That's why it did not return that. But if I should come here and put offices now, it's going to return everything because this one has all the office ID. So you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 now. So that's how the in operator works. Now, let's go to the like operator. How does it work? Now it's just like you're trying to search for a particular entry in a table based on a particular pattern. So we have different wildcards. You can use the like operator. We have this percentage sign. You have this guy. This guy doesn't work with it works with big X. So let me just remove it. Regular expression. So this is saying that let's start from SQL HR.employees. We have first name like this. You can see that the percentage sign is at the front and at the back. So it's saying that unless everything in the employees table, whenever you see a first name that has the letter A inside it. So that's what this guy means. Are you following?
Yes, I'm following.
Let's see. Look at the first name I have here. This one has A, this one has A, this one has A, so everything has A. Now, if I should remove this percentage sign that's at the front and I leave it like this is going to return everything in employees table that has a first name that starts with A. So this will only return the first name that starts with A. So you can see it's only Alaska that starts with A. Now, if the percentage signs at the front, so this is going to pick employees that has their first name that ends with A now. So you have 4 of them. That does make sense. So and the rest like that, like that, like that, like that. So this is not for this agenda. If you go back to the video, I explained this in detail. So let me go to this place. Now regular expression now. So regular expression and the like too. They are like doing kind of related. But if I should explain with what I have here now, you may not, you may not really get it like this because I've done some stuff and aside from scratch. Like, but if you see the video, you understand. Now let me
You
just
can explain. I'll go over it at later
yeah.
time. Just explain.
So this is how it works. Let me first run it. What is this one doing? It's saying search for select everything in the employees table and search for the first name that starts with S, but the second letter is between A to E. So A minus E means A, B, C, D, E. So look for the second letter. Either it starts is there is A, is there is B, is there is C or F. So okay, then the next one is Y, then E, then R. It follows like that. So it says Sawyer, the Sawyer. So it says Sawyer because the first is S and the second is A. Now I can do something like this. I can remove this and put a bar, a pipe. This one is saying that the first is S, but the second is A or E. Then the next one follows. So let's see. Let me run it. You can see still it's return the same result. Now this one is saying that, so let's start from employees where first name we get. Now this caret sign is saying that okay, the one that starts with A or starts with E or starts with I or starts with O or starts with U. That is how this one works. So let me run that. You can see A, E, and I. So there's no one that starts with there's no one that starts with O, there's no one that starts with U. That's why you didn't return the result. You understand that part?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now this part is saying that okay, check whether the first name starts with A or E. So I see in this part, so I did not put this bar. I did not put this bar. It will still return the same result. So say A or E, any which way I put it. I necessarily need not to put this bar. So you understand? So this one is saying A or E first. Then what is going to follow is L. Are you with me?
I'm with you, Mr. Momo.
But me putting this dollar sign, it means that that first name must end with AL or EL. It must end with. So it means if you are using a dollar sign at the back, it means ends with. But if you are using a caret sign at the front, it means begins with. You cannot use caret sign at the back and put dollar sign at the front. So, but these two only works with circular expression. Because when I'm using like, is when you can put percentage sign at the front to determine that it ends with, the percentage sign at the back to determine that it starts with. So you get the difference now.
Yes, I do.
So let me run this. You see that it returns EL, the one that ends with EL. So it means that there's nothing that ends with AL. That's why you don't see that result. Okay. Then insert statements, you quite get this inside the okay, let me just go by it, just one. So select start from this guy. I created the table SQL class. I created, okay, I have this guy. So I can use a describe this one is my DB database. This one I created here. So you can use the describe statement to describe a table. This is saying that okay, the student ID is an integer and it's a primary key. So a primary key cannot have null values. Default is null, but it cannot even contain null values in the first place. So what do I mean by default is null? It means probably if you want to insert into that table and you not put a value, so you just put null there as default. But if the default here is 0, for example. So if I want to insert a value and I did not specify a value for that particular column, then it is going to put 0 there. So that's what this one is. So what's the extra? Auto increment. So it means that if I insert into the table SQL class and I didn't put the student ID, which is the primary key. So let's say the last number there is 5. So if I should insert, it's going to generate the next number, which is 6 for the table automatically. So that's what it means. So I just use this guy used to insert into SQL class. So what are the columns? Student ID, first name, last name, gender, email. So what are the values of the columns? Okay, student ID 001, first name Esau, last name this, gender male, email of the guy this. So that's why I used to insert. You can see this is the first insert statement that I did for this guy, which corresponds to this, and the second one corresponds to this. So updates, I can also update. So I can say update SQL class, which is the table, self email. Now for me to write this, you know the SQL class table is under my DB, but it's not currently in use. If I should run this, I'm going to have an error because my DB is not currently in use. I have to reference in the database I'm updating anyways. So if I should run this, it's still going to come up an error at the bottom here. So there's an error. It didn't come up. You can see like a kind of a red sign at the bottom, error code. Because there's nowhere to update the SQL class. You don't know the SQL class. So that's my underscore DB dot why I want it. That's by the way. Also to delete, I can say delete from SQL class where student ID is equal to 7. So this guy is going to delete the row that has student ID to be 7. Okay, that's a great thing. Then let me see what's inside this next script. Okay, the group hold on. Okay, let me see this. Then we have all these aggregating functions. I think I talked about them. Count, ABG, count, ABG, which average, minimum, maximum, sum. So I can say if I should write count star. So let's count star from SQL HR.employees. Count star is going to count the number of rows you have in that table. So if I should run this, it's telling me that I have 20 rows. That's what it's telling me, 20 rows in the employees table. So that's what count star is going to do. Are you still following?
Yeah, I'm following.
So you can also count. You can say count these things down to something. Let's see, let me first select this.
This one will be unique counts, right?
You said?
This one will be unique counts. This thing is the unique counts.
Okay, if I say count this thing, Tabi.
Yes.
Yes, yes, unique counts, yes, that's true.
So,
Hold on. So this one is saying that, okay, you know, the employees table has salary. Okay, let's say I want to find the average salary of the employees. So I say ABG salary, but I want to round it up. So I use the round function. Then comma 2, that is to I think 2 decimal places or whatever. Then I'll give the name called average salary, ABG underscore salary. Now, it's always good to use underscore to give your column name a space instead of using space. If you use space, you have to enclose it in a double quotation mark, a quotation mark. But I don't usually advise you using space when naming your column. So let's run this. You can see it has created it has found the average salary and left the 2 decimal places. So the aggregator function only returns one single value. One single value. So if you average salary, it's just only one value in the expression, right? So you can also find minimum salary using the min function, the maximum using the maximum function, the sum, and I can also write a single query that can do all of those. Look at this now. Select counter, which is count the distinct rows now. Minimum salary to find the minimum salary, maximum salary, find the maximum salary. Sum, I can also use sum to find the total salary. I can use ABG to find the average salary. Then what I just did here is that I use the traditional method. You may want to have average to find the total, then over the unique. You now have to find the sum now and average. Sum the total set and divide it by the number of elements. So that's what I just did here. So it should return the same result as the first average that I used here. So you can see this is the count. Minimum salary is 2,179. Maximum salary is this. Total salary, then average salary, then average salary using the traditional method, which is actually the same thing. Are you following? Are you still following?
I'm following. I'm following.
Okay. So you can stop anytime if you have any question.
Okay.
So this one now, you are going to the goodbye clause. So goodbye clause usually work with manipulating function. How do we use goodbye clause? How do we use goodbye clause? So, so, so let's say the employees table, for example, now you can have the department ID, but in this case, in this our employees table, we don't have department, we have office. So you might be interested in looking for the average salary for employees in each offices. So you might have 5 offices now. Okay, employees in office 1, what's the average salary? Employees office 2, what's the average salary? So that's the essence of goodbye. So look at this now. This one says select office ID, comma, counter. So let me call it, let me give it a name, CNC. I use an alias. From employees table, then goodbye office ID. So this guy is going to give me the count of employees in each offices. If I should run this, they say that employees in office 1 is 4. You have 4 employees. So you have 4 employees in office 2, 4 in 3, 4 in 4, 3 in 5, and only 1 person in office 10. Good. Look at this query now. Select office ID, then average salary from SQL underscore HR employees group by office ID. So this should give me the average salary. So for Office 1, 91,700 per one. Office 2, this is the average salary. You understand what? Do you understand the concept now?
I understand, but can you take it over again?
So select office ID, comma, average salary, ABG salary from SQL underscore HR dot employees group by office ID. So this is showing the average salary of employees based on the office ID. So for any employee that has office ID 1, take the average salary. Employees of office ID 2, take the average salary. Employees of office ID 3, take the average salary. So that's what this guy is just doing. So that is grouping them. That's why you use the group by clause. So I can also do this. I can also say I want to select count star, minimum salary, maximum salary, sum, average salary. Office ID from SQL employees, then group by office ID. So this can just show me the count by office ID, minimum salary by office ID, and the likes of them. If I should run this, this is saying that employees in office ID 1, their total number is 4, their minimum salary is this, their maximum salary is this, and like that. So it's not that you can group with more than one column. It's not necessary to group with only one column. You can group with more than one column. So let me see the number of columns I can group with in the employees table. So I want to see another column I can group by. From employees. Let me see how this one. So let's say I want to group by. I'm looking for. Okay, I can say I want to group by. There's nothing interesting I can group by here. It's only office ID that's interesting here. So you can group by more than one column. So if you have office, then you can have something like maybe you have then units. You can have units too. Let's say inside a particular office, you have employees in a particular office. Then you can have different units in that office. You can have this unit for marketing, this unit is for production and all that. So you can also group by units. So if there's something like that in a particular table, so you can say group by office ID, comma unit. So you can do that too. So that works very fine. That works very fine too. But where we can do that kind of scenario, I will let us know and do something like that. So you can group by 3, 4 columns, depending on what you achieve. So look at this now. This one is given by continent and given by region. Okay, you have something like this. So this one is you are selecting staff from country table, world database. Let's see what is inside. So this was inside. So I want to select minimum population, maximum population, average population, sum population, and continent, region. So all this one does not have aggregating function on them. So you just go by these two. Now, if I should not select region now, if I should move this region and I selected region and I didn't go by region, it's going to drop an error. Oh, it didn't drop error. So what happened? He said go by continent. Okay, these are different continents we have. I wasn't expecting this. Let me see. Video. So this one is saying that, okay, for let me order by, so that we see the picture of what I'm talking about. Order by continent, for example. Order by continent. Look at this now. So for continent Asia, region Eastern Asia, this is their minimum population and blah blah blah. For continent Asia, region Middle East, this is what you have. So first of all, go by continent, then by region. So first of all, you consider continent Asia and consider a particular region in continent, in that continent. So that's what I'm saying. You can have a particular office one, I have like 3 different units in that office. So we say, okay, office one, unit one, this is their average salary. Office one, unit two, this is their average salary. So like that. So you means grouping by just continent here, and I have continent comma region here, won't really make a lot of sense. It won't really make sense. This result is not supposed to. It won't really make sense. So if you are not going by region, there's no point putting region. In Oracle SQL, you know this thing is not going to return the result. So I don't know why it's returning the result. So if you are using a group by, you are grouping by. So any column that does not have an aggregating function, you have to group by it. So that's my point. You have to group by region too. So that's just it. Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm doing, Sha?
I understand, but I didn't get the last part as well. The last one just explained.
You want to like group by continent and region or what?
Yes, the company region part.
So that's what I'm trying to explain. Let's say in a company you have 4 offices. Now, office one. So let me use this result. This Asia, it has 4 regions. So I'm grouping by continent and region. So for Asia, we have 4 regions there. So Asia, then the region 1 that we have, what is their population? You consider it by that region. First of all, you consider that Asia, then consider that region. Then Asia, region 2, what is their minimum population? What's their, okay, just like this, let me give you an scenario. In Nigeria, okay, now let's go to Lagos. What is their population? The minimum population, no, I don't want to use population in this case. What is their average salary? What is their minimum salary in Lagos? So leave Lagos, let's go to Kaduna. What is their average salary? What is their minimum salary and the likes? Then okay, when you consider the states in Nigeria, let's go to let's say UK now. Consider states in UK, or let's go to South Africa. You now consider for each state in South Africa. So that's how this group by works. Do you understand the logic behind it now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So in this part, we talk about joins. So you have 4 kinds of joins: inner join, left join, right join, full join. Now, full join does not exist in my SQL. So if you want to do a full join, you have to find a shortcut of doing that. Inner join is just like intersection instead, but it's not really intersection. But it's the concept of intersection. So if you have table A and table B, if you want to join them together, you have to join them based on the column that is common to both of them. You have to join them on the column that is common to both of them. Let's use the employees table and the office table, for example. Now, the employees table has office ID. Do you agree with me? But let me just type employees. So it has office ID. You can see office ID there. Now, the office ID, the offices table too has office ID, sure, which is the primary key. That's office ID. It means if I want to join these employees and the offices table, I can only join it with office ID. So for any kind of join, I call join the office ID. So if I'm doing inner join, it means that it can only join on where the office ID for employees and office ID of offices intersect. So for you to get that point very well, let me select the distinct employees ID that we have in the employees table. Office ID. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. It means if I want to join employees table and offices table, I want to do an inner join. It can only pick if you can find one office ID 1. Offices table actually has office ID 1 to 10. Let's even see by ourselves. You can see that's office ID 1 to 10. So if I want to do inner join between offices and employees table, it's going to only return a join that has office ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. So that's what is common to both of them. So it means that it's not going to see 6, 7, 8, and 9. Do you agree with me?
Yes, just the mutual ones.
Yes. So this is the query for inner join. So let's start from employees. Join SQL on when the office ID is equal. Now, the essence of putting this alias AA and BB is that to save me the stress of typing this whole of a thing. Now, why am I saying AA.office ID equals BB.office ID? So I'm telling the guy that the office ID I'm talking about here is the one in the employees table. So I just gave it an alias so that it will save me the stress of typing this whole of a thing here. .office ID. Just give it AA. So I can say AA.office ID, saying that the office ID that is in this guy equals to BB.office ID, then that the office ID that is in what the office is table. You get that logic?
I got it.
So for in my SQL, I can join means inner join. I don't need to put inner. Join means inner join. So whether I type inner join or I type join, it's the same result. So if I run this, you see the result here. You can see that the office ID you have here is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. You cannot see 6, 7, 8, 9 here. So for row 1 in employees table, you check the office ID 1. You now match with the one in the office table that has office ID 1. Yeah, come together. For row 2 in the employees table, okay, check the office ID. Does it match with this one? Yeah, match them together. So for row 1, we have office ID 1, it matches with office ID 1 here. Office ID 10 matches with this and all that. So let's start from this and join. It means say everything join it with everything in the office table. You can see that it's everything from here to this place that's in the what employee table, and from here to this place is from what the office table. So we can join everything together. But sometimes you might not be interested in joining everything. You might just be interested in some columns. Some columns in employees and some columns in offices. So you can just come, instead of putting star, I can just say, okay, I want AA. You know, AA is for employees. So I'll say, you don't necessarily need to put AA. I can say select first name. Now, this guy is going to put a first name. If first name is common to both employees and offices, then you have to specify which one you are taking. So if it's from employees, I'll say AA dot end of first name. So it's not that he's picking the first name from employees table. But since first name is not common to both tables, I can just put first name, it's safe. Then I'll say, okay, last name. I'm looking for last name, which is from the employees table, obviously. Okay. Then I'm looking for the address. Address is what? Is from the offices table. It's not common to both tables. I can just type address safely. Okay, let me just come here and put employees ID. Okay, I want employees ID too. Employee ID rather, comma. Then I'll come here Okay, I want to pick office ID. Now, since I want to pick office ID, I have to specify which one. Is it from employees or from offices? Any which one you pick is safe. But you have to just specify where you are picking it from, office ID. So that's why I put AA as office ID. Then from this. So if I should run this, you see that it's already this column that I specified that I've returned. As it says here. So that's that about that. So left join. So let me talk about how left join works. Let me first of all read this statement here. So let's start from employees AA. They've joined this PP on this ID. You can only join on office side because that's what's common to both of them. But now employees here is the guy that is on the left now. The one that is stated first is the guy that is on the left. And the one that comes then, which is offices, is the one at the right. So if you are doing a left join, it means select everything on the left, then connect it with what are on the right. So what matches? So it's based on what matches the employees table that's on the left that is going to join to the that's going to join the office table that's on the right. So what are the office IDs that we have in the employees table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. So your left join here is going to be like your inner join. Your left join here is going to be like your inner join. It's going to like become the same thing. Look at it. It's going to be like your inner join because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 is in employees, is also in what offices, but it's not going to return 6789 because it does not match with employees table, which is on the left. So that explains left join. But if it is, let me put some. Okay. So this one is just like this one's like right join here. But let me use this. Then let me come to right join. Now, if it is right join now, you know, employees now is on the left, but offices is at the right, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, you know that the office ID on the offices table is 1 to 10. But the employees table has only offices ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. So it means you are going to select everything on the right, which is offices table, and join it with what matches on the left. Now, since employees table does not have office ID 6789, so for that part that the employees table does not have office ID 6789 is going to be null because I'm actually selecting everything on the right, which is on office table, and it has 6789, but employees does not have 6789. So for them to fill in together, so for that part that employees does not have office ID 6789, it's going to fill in at no value. So let's see how this works out. So you can see everything in the employees table office ID is selected. So that part where we have 6789 is now what? Null, because it does not exist in the employees table. So that's why I have it to be null. So do you understand that part now?
Yes, I get the concepts.
Okay. Whatever is understand the concept, then everything is fine. Now, full join, you cannot do a full join. But for that question, you need to do a full join. You have to do a full join. But in MySQL, you cannot do a full join. So how do we conquer the concept of full join? Full join is that select everything on the left, select everything on the right, join them together. Then you also join husband and wife. Just join them. Everything. Take everything that is there, shall join them together. So how do we do that? I will do a left join, then I will do a right join. I will now union all. Now, union all. But you know, if I'm doing a left join and I'm doing a right join, if I should just union them like that, there will be duplicates somewhere. Because you know that this part that I'm doing a right join, from this place, except from this one that is not null, it has already existed on the left join, on the part that I did it. So all this one that is not null are not in the left join. So for me to complete a full join, I'll just include this one that is not in the left join to complete a full join. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying at all.
Yes, but this kind of is a bit tricky.
Let
So
me let me let me go to the Microsoft Teams whiteboard so that I will explain this better. Uh, okay, let me go to. Can I use the whiteboard marker here? Okay, let me use the whiteboard marker. Can you see this? Can you see this? What I'm doing now?
I can see the whiteboard.
I will explain the concept better here. We type at the minutes on more time. Okay. I'm not using app child. I'm not using app. So I want to use the whiteboard marker. So I want to use the black marker. I know the collaborate now. Ah, about image. So so this is a left. I want to do a left join. LJ. This is the concept of a left join. Now, this is the left join. Let's say this table A. Let's say this table B. I will select everything here. I will select everything in the left table. Then I will select what is common to the right and join it with the left.
I think this is using the concept of Venn diagram. Mathematics.
Yes, yes, exactly. So select everything on the left and join it with what is common on the right. This is left join. Now, right join. Okay. Select everything here on the right. Then join it with what is common on the left. Now, to do a full join, this is a full join. This is a full join. A full join is to select everything on the left and everything on the right. It's going to select everything like this. So now, but I cannot do a full join in my SQL. So how do I do that? I will now do this. I will do a left join. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, go on. I will see. Go on.
So I will do a left join like this. I will now union. I will now union with this part. Only this part. So it means that I'm going to erase this guy. This guy that is the intersection that is common to both of them. Are you with me? So is this guy that is common to both of them? So this guy that is common to both of them, I will now remove to form a fusion. Okay. I will clean this one. Okay. It's not working the way I want it to work. Don't mind the eraser.
You
So
just
I'll
clean everything in parts.
say
So you clean everything, then you leave the middle parts.
yes. So I'll just use this guy. So is the one that is common to both of them. Is the one I will remove. Then I'll put it with this guy that is not common. Abi now. So let's relate it now. Let's relate it to what I have here. A left join and a right join. Let me go back to that right join I did. This is right join. This is what is common. Abi. This one that does not have no value is what is common. Abi now.
Yes, yes.
This one that has no values is one that is not common to both of them. Understand? So
Yeah, I'm
that's
getting.
why I stated here that that's why I said here that do a full join. You first do a left join normally like this, then union all. So let's start from I will not do a right join. I will not state that okay, it is where the employee ID is null. So where I have null values, now union it with this part. So I have a full join like that. You understand that?
Yes, yes, yes.
And the concept is clear now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So this one explains I
He
just
said it's only my school is not available. So maybe all these Oracle is available, right?
yes. Oracle a full join is available now.
Okay.
So that's that one time. So let's go to today's agenda. Let's go to today's agenda. I've used like almost 1 hour to recap. So I did union all. I did union all. Now union all this IT work. You know, if you do A union B in set theory, it's not going to repeat the duplicate. So if I
Yes.
so but union all is going to repeat the duplicate. So what do I mean by duplicate? If set A is A E I O U and set B is A to E. If I do A union B, for example, instead of saying, you know, A is in set A is in set B. Instead of saying A, then comma B, comma C, it's just going to have single A. That is union. But union all is going to repeat that A 2 times. Since it is whether it's in A or it's in B, you just pick the two A's, pick side by side. So that's union all. So you can also use having clause. This having clause. You can also use having clause with. Now, to use union, to union two tables, those two tables must have the same number of columns. So this is how union works. If you have table A and table B and you want to union them, it's just like you are doing an update. Maybe there's an employees table before you started the company, you created an employees table. Then you enter the number of employees that started the company at the scratch. Then, as the company was growing, it started employing new employees. But the details of those new employees that are taking, you now went to go and store it in another table. But the structure is still the same from the old one you guys created. But you guys ask, why do you have two different tables for the employees that we have? Just combine them together. Then you talk about doing a union. So you say the first table you guys have, so let's start from it. And union, so let's start from that table. So you just insert the new one you have from the bottom, just put it there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, so that's union. Then
They must
union
have
of
equal number of columns, right?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So with goodbye, you can also use having clause with goodbye. So having clause, not like your where clause, but having clause only works with goodbye. They can say select all these min max and everything by office ID. You now say having count greater than one. You know there's a count column. So whenever the count is greater than one, you're going to so let me just put greater than 3. Having count greater than 3. So it's good. So you can only see count that is greater than 3 here. So it's just like a where clause, but your having clause only works with a goodbye. Instead of having, I can put where here too. Where uh, so where am I having this error? Okay. You cannot put where clause underneath here. A where clause cannot be after a goodbye clause. It can only be underneath here. So let me see. I want to put
Okay, so
goodbye.
having work on that goodbye.
Then
I said we cannot work on that goodbye, right? It's only having that can work on that goodbye.
yes, nothing can be under goodbye, but where it has to be before the goodbye clause. Now if I put the where clause here now, you can see it's fine. But
Mm.
let me run this. It's not going to work. Now let me do something like this. Let me do something like this. Count count star, where count star is greater than 3. Let me run this now. I'm still so I cannot use this guy here, but I cannot use it without grouping function unless I want to say where office ID greater than 1. So this one is not going to consider for office ID 1. You can see 2 people. So you cannot use it with all these aggregating functions. So you cannot say where count is greater than 1. So it means that you can only use having clause at that particular instance. So if you want to treat it by this function by these values they have aggregated, you have to use the having clause. So that's just the difference. All right.
So many rules.
Yeah, I know, right? So I talked about parent key and foreign key. If you look at the employees table and you look at office table, employees table, this is the primary key. You can check the describe statement to check it. Now what a primary key is the layman term. A primary key are the unique values that are associated with your rows in a table. So a primary key cannot have duplicates. It cannot be null. It cannot be null. So that's the characteristics of a primary key. Now you can also have a foreign key in a table. Look at this. This office ID is a foreign key. You know why it's a foreign key? Because office ID is a primary key in a particular table. Now you now have that same office ID in another table. So office ID is a foreign key. A foreign key can be duplicate, can have duplicates, and can have no values. As you can see here, 1 is occurring how many times? 3 is occurring how many times? And it also have no values. No, this is not compatible. So you can have no values anyways. So that's between foreign key and primary key. Foreign key is just like
Mr. Emmanuel, so employee IDs are primary key, right?
yeah, employee ID is a primary key in the employees table.
But in the last row, there have been no this thing there.
No. This is just like an empty row.
Okay.
So you look at office table now. Office ID is a primary key in the office table, but is a foreign key in the employees table. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So now that will lead us to what we call parent table and child table. Now the employees table is a parent table to the office table, while the office table is a child to the employees table, because you can reference the office table from the employees table. Did you get that analogy?
Yes. So it's more like a unit under a department.
Yeah. No. It's not that way. It's not that way. Yeah, let me put it this way. Your parents now. You know your parents have their own name.
Yes.
Now you are now bearing a name that is common to your parents. So you have a relationship with your parents with your what surname. Look at the office table. The office table has a relationship with the employees table because of what? The office ID that is there. So you understand now? You understand better now?
Yes, I get it.
I think I understand that. Good. So let's go to let me try. I want to see what that is. Let me just create a new tab. Let's create a new tab. Let me put down a new tab. SQL tab. So do you have questions so far? What to talk about?
No, I like the way you're explaining it, so I'm actually getting it.
So I think I've explained how to create a database in that installation class, create database, then specify the name of the database and all that. I think I will explain that part. So let's see. Let's see. How to talk about joins, talk about group by. Okay, let me talk about exist operator. So let me just highlight what we want to talk about. Exist any. Before I will talk about this, I'll talk about insert. Now let's talk about the case statement. Case statement. Let's talk about the case statement. Case statement is not like the if else statement in Python. You know Python, right? You have been doing Python. An average programmer would have done Python. I knew that for sure. You have done Python. Something like that. Abina.
Yes, intermediate or beginner.
So let me see. We want to do a case statement. So why do we do use case statements? Why do we use case statements? You might be interested in doing some kind of create a kind of segmentation in a particular table and based on conditions. You want to create a column based on certain conditions. So now let me use the employees table. I'll still use the employees table to, to explain this. Select star from SQL underscore HR dot employees. Let me see. Now, oh, sorry, that didn't work. I didn't type the employees very well. For employees. So now, let's say, and I want to do something. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? Are you still there?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm here.
So can we, I want to do something. So I want to group, maybe I want to group, and I want to group maybe the employees' details based on their name. I will say that, okay, I can say, should I do that? No. Should I, no. I don't want to do that. So I want to group based on their salary. So first of all, let me try and see the minimum and the maximum salary we have in the employees. So I'm going to say mean salary, comma max salary from SQL underscore HR dot employees. I didn't spread the employees very well. So we have the minimum salary is 2,000. Let me just go. Minimum salary is 32,000. 179. The maximum salary is 119,241. I want to segment the employees based on their salary. So I'll now say, okay, maybe, so let me say the minimum is 30,000, for example. Maximum is 120,000. So I'll say, okay, people in the range that's getting 30,000 to 60,000, for example. I want to call them low earners. Are you with me? So I want to segment people that are earning between 90,000 or 60,000 to 90,000 as average earners. Then I want to group those that are earning between 90,000 and 120,000 as high earners. So is this case function that is going to help us do that? So I'll just say, okay, select star, then I'm going to create a column with the case function. And I say case. I don't like to write in the next line, it doesn't matter. Case when salary is less or equal to 30,000 and salary not less than, greater than equals to greater than equals to 30,000 and salary less than 50,000 is 60,000. Then what do I want it to show? I'll say show earners. Show earners. Okay, I'll come to the next one. When salary is greater than or equal to 60,000 and salary less than 90,000, then I'll call it average earners. Then okay, when salary, I'm creating intervals. I hope you understand how I'm creating the intervals. Greater than equal to
Yes.
90,000 and salary less than 120,000. Sorry. Then I'll say high earners. High earners. Okay. Okay, then I'll say end as means I want to give it a column name. End as, how should I give it safe? Hey, I'll say salary segment.
Okay. Salary range.
So
Salary category.
salary category, yes, exactly. End as salary category. From where? From SQL HR employees. Yeah, go on. So you can see this. So this guy is in the best category, average earners. Àwọn high earners, àwọn ilé, àwọn tó ń gbowó ńlá. You can see this is only one guy that is in the low category. The guy is collecting 47,000. So I can also say goodbye. I can also goodbye. I say goodbye. Order by rather. Order by.
So I think this will be good for customer segregation.
You said?
So this will be good for customer segregation that we talked about in
Yeah, I know, right? So let me order by.
Hello, I cannot hear you again. Hello? Are you there?